Filipina tennis star Alex Eala reached her new career best number 31 WTA ranking, jumping 16 spots after a quarterfinal finish in the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championship.
Alex Eala is breaking records, and this time she has reached her career best ranking of 31, moving 16 ranks in just one tournament, and that is insane. But before we get into all of that, let me tell you something. There are moments in sports that go beyond just the game. Moments where you are not just watching an athlete compete, you are watching someone fight. Fight against opponents, fight against doubt, fight against a system that does not want to see them succeed. And right now, in women's tennis, that person is Alex Eala. And what she is doing is nothing short of extraordinary. Eala has made her statement once again in front of the WTA authorities, who are not ready to accept her into the flight of tennis. But Eala is doing wonders, and the Dubai Championship is a true example of her own potential. And looking at the way things are going, it is just a matter of time before the WTA would have to accept her as the real deal of tennis. At the Dubai Championship, Eala made another record by defeating Jasmine Paolini, who sits at 8th in the WTA rankings. Paolini was her third opponent from the top 10 of the WTA that she has defeated. Along with defeating Paolini, she defeated Hailey Baptiste and Sorana Cirstea. All of these wins came in a comfortable manner until she fell against world number 4 Coco Gauff. But even that loss changes nothing about what Eala proved in Dubai. She belongs at that level. Everybody watching could see it, and the numbers now confirm it. And here is what makes this even bigger. Alex Eala has become the only female tennis player in history to have beaten world number 2 and multiple Grand Slam champions like Madison Keys and Iga Swiatek before even breaking into the top 20 of the WTA rankings. This is an absolute achievement for someone as young as Eala. She is taking every challenge head-on, and in doing that, she is proving herself against her worst critics inside the WTA who refuse to give her the credit she deserves. That is not hype, that is history. Eala announced herself last year on the stage the Miami Open. And once she started doing that, the whole WTA machinery came after her. When Eala was in the middle of that incredible run against Iga Swiatek, playing the best tennis of her life, there was an incident that cannot just be brushed aside. Out of nowhere, an umpire raised an issue, accusing Eala of having prohibited items on the court. Think about the timing of that. She is in the middle of one of the biggest upsets in recent WTA history. The crowd is absolutely going crazy for her. The momentum is entirely in her favor, and in that exact moment, a controversy appears that had absolutely nothing to do with tennis, nothing to do with the quality of play, nothing to do with what was actually happening on the court. It felt deliberate. It felt like a calculated attempt to break her concentration, to pull her out of her zone, to shake the mental composure of a young player who was outplaying one of the biggest names in the sport. The timing was too perfect to ignore, and anyone who was watching that match felt it. You do not raise that kind of issue at that exact moment by accident. You just do not. But Eala did not stop. She did not crack. She did not let it rattle her. She went right back out there and she finished the job against Iga Swiatek. And in winning that match, she sent a message that went far beyond tennis. She made it clear that she cannot be stopped by doing rigging stuff like this. But that victory also made something else very clear to her. She is not just fighting against her opponent on the other side of the net. She is also facing an illogical scrutiny from authorities within the WTA, who do not want a Filipino to make it this big from scratch. And that was not even the only incident. There was another moment where an umpire made a line call that was visibly, obviously wrong. The ball was inside the bounds, clearly inside. Anyone watching could see it. But it was called out. When Eala went to challenge that call, instead of simply correcting the obvious mistake and awarding her the point she had rightfully won, the umpire called for a replay of the entire point. A replay. She should have had that point. There is no argument, no debate. The ball was in. But instead of giving her what she earned, they made her play it again. And here is what makes Eala so special. She did not just accept it. She walked right up to that chair umpire, calm but absolutely firm, and she said, "I know what you're doing." The confidence in her voice, the determination in her eyes. She was not going to be intimidated. She was not going to let them push her around. She knew exactly what was happening, and she called them out on it right there on the court. That moment told you everything about who Alex Eala is as a competitor and as a person. And when this could no longer go on, the WTA put her on small courts at the Australian Open to stop her fans, who were numbered in the thousands, from getting into the stadium to support her. Fans who had traveled, who had shown up, who were there specifically to cheer Eala on. And the WTA responded by making sure the venue could not hold them. And when this happened, the biggest names in tennis took notice. Novak Djokovic called the WTA out directly. According to Djokovic and many others who have been paying close attention, the WTA's management of her fixture played a huge role in her elimination. And Djokovic was not subtle about it. He said it loud and he said it clearly, that it was their venue choice that worked against Eala. In Djokovic's own words, Alex Eala is the greatest tennis player the Philippines has ever produced, and she deserves all the respect in the world. But the WTA is not giving her that respect. They are not treating her fairly, and that lack of proper management contributed to her first-round exit at the Open. When the greatest male player of all time is pointing his finger at an institution and saying something is wrong, you do not get to just look away.
Amazing. I mean, I played her when she kind of broke out last year in Miami, and I'm from there, and the whole crowd was against me, and I was like, what on earth is going on? Like, where do these people come from? And then week after week, as she has done well and established herself as a really good player on tour, they all come out to support her. And so I think we saw that in Australia when it was kind of overcrowded. They put her on too small of a court.
Jessica Pagula also made it absolutely clear that in her eyes, Alex Eala is not just a promising young player trying to find her footing on the tour. She is a rising star in the truest sense of the word. Someone who has already demonstrated time and time again that she belongs at the highest level of this sport. But the WTA does not seem to be treating her that way, and Pagula is going to stay quiet about it. She brought up her own match against Eala at the Miami Open. She recalled walking into that match and being genuinely surprised by what she saw. The energy in that venue was electric. The crowd was enormous, passionate, loud, and completely invested in every single point. Pagula said it was insane. She was not complaining. She was marveling, because what she witnessed that day was a young player who had already built a following that most established stars could only dream of. And yet all of a sudden the WTA is putting her on small courts. Everything points in one direction. The WTA does not like Eala. The picture that emerges from all of this is uncomfortable. It is a picture of an institution that seems threatened by a young Filipino woman who is rising too fast, gaining too much love, and proving too many people wrong. The racist undertones of what is happening here are something people are openly discussing, because when you look at the pattern, the umpire incidents, the court sizes, the scheduling, it is very hard to come up with another explanation. But here is the thing about Alex Eala. None of it has stopped her. In just 1 year, she has gone from ranked 100th in the world to 31st. She has beaten the best players on She has broken records that nobody else has broken. She has built a fan base that travels across the world to watch her play. And she has done all of this while facing obstacles that most players never have to deal with. The WTA can schedule her on small courts. The umpires can make their questionable calls. The critics and the doubters can say whatever they want. But the rankings do not lie. The results do not lie. And with people like Novak Djokovic standing firmly in her corner, it is crystal clear who is winning this fight. Alex Eala is not just a tennis player. She is a movement. And you cannot stop a movement.